The Blackhawks beat the Sharks 6-3 at the United Center, and the power play nightmare is over. Join us on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, use our code CHGO365 when you sign up just in time for the big game on Sunday. I'm Jay Zawoski. That's Greg Boyson. Chloe's here running the show, complaining about headphones. The Hawks win 6-3 over the San Jose Sharks. And yes, I'm reminded by Sarah in the chat, not our Sarah, but a different Sarah. I got to fly the Noodle Man. We're rusty. It's been a long time since we've been able to run the Noodle Man.
It's been 83 years.
Certainly feels like
do
it.
that.
Really good win tonight. Really exciting game. Sold out crowd. Tons of energy from the start. Boy, more of this, please. More games like this would be enjoyable as we wrap down to final third of the season.
Yes, more games against teams that play no defense and have crummy goaltenders. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Here's one thing. I'm going to lead off by saying this. I think we could put the narrative to bed that the Sharks rebuild is light years ahead of the Blackhawks.
It's not.
That team is not very good.
No.
I know they've got some excitement. You know, Macklin Celebrini
he's awesome.
Really, really good at hockey.
Really freaking good.
Will Smith is a fine compliment to him. After that, there's not much there.
Yeah.
They play no defense, which has to just kill Ryan Warsofsky, he's a defense-first guy. Yaroslav Askarov, maybe the now-retired Barry Trotz knew something. He took a beating for trading him, and I know he's young, and goalies take forever.
Yep.
Woof.
Yeah.
5th time he's been pulled from a game this year.
Oh, boy.
Not great, Bob. So yeah, it was a fun win tonight. All this talk about two young and exciting teams and these great offenses, and for a 6-3 game, it was pretty damn boring.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of excitement.
The shots on goal were ultimately 28-17 for the Sharks. The Sharks obviously trying to come back from a big deficit in the third, threw everything they had at the Hawks with a 15-4 advantage in the third. But not a lot of offense for a 6-3 score. But you know what? Everybody that they are always asked, like, do you get up for games like this when you're playing another really young up-and-coming team? Oh, no. To us, it's just another game.
Liars.
Liars. Crap.
Filthy liars.
That both teams, especially the Hawks early, were looking to make a statement in this game, because I guarantee you the Hawks are really freaking tired of hearing about the San Jose Sharks. They're really tired about hearing how fun it is and how great they are. And here's Celebrini and here's Bedard. And it's just not the reality. It's just not the reality. And I'm really glad to see the Hawks come out. And even though they will all deny it until they're deep in the ground 50 years from now, 60 years from now, they'll deny that it was not just another game. They were definitely amped up for this one. They wanted to come out and make a good impression. And Connor Bedard, especially from the beginning of this game, I think I said to you on the first shift, like, he is scoring today. He will not be denied in this game. He really, really wanted to put on a show. Sharks did a decent job of limiting him, but the Hawks, the Donato, Dickinson, Mikheyev line just ran roughshod on him.
Yeah, that line was fabulous, and you need to have that depth scoring if you want to, succeed over the course of an 82-game season. You just can't have Connor Bedard do it all. He started it. He snapped the power play streak. I love the fact that he went right back to the area of the net he missed the other night against Columbus and said, nope, I'm going to score there tonight. him and Celebrini definitely had a little jump to their step. They can downplay this all they want. They can, hockey players are never going to put the light on themselves. It's always going to be team first. That's ingrained in the culture. So all them saying, oh, no, it's Blackhawks versus Sharks. It's not Macklin versus Connor. BS. Yeah. Those guys, Connor's got bragging rights till April, till they play again. And he's he's all over his text messages with him now. Scoreboard. Come on. When you're growing up and you got your best friend or a really good friend, I don't know if it's his best friend, but they've known each other forever. They're cool. They hang out. You never want to lose to those guys. Like if you grew up with somebody and then you and your good friend go to different high schools,
it's the greatest,
and you play him or her in a sport, you want to beat their ass.
There's no one you want to beat more than that person.
I mean, my good friends I wanted to beat in just whatever, paper, rock, scissors. I got pissed off. And these guys are more competitive than you and I will ever be.
Correct.
So they want to win this game so bad. And they both scored tonight. They were both very good players, but Connor Bedard gets the last laugh because his team was better than Macklin's team.
As you're telling the story, I know the name of the person you're talking. My friend Jack Harnedy, growing up, I went to St. Linus. He went to St. Gerald's. I went to St. Lawrence. He went to Mount Carmel. I stopped playing in college. He went to Northwestern. So he was a little better than me. It helped that he was like 6'9" in 8th grade.
That does help.
He literally is. He was a nose tackle for St. Gerald's, and they'd snap the ball, and he would reach over me and grab the quarterback and just pull him down. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah. That's cheating. But anyway.
Yeah, the Sharks have issues. The Blackhawks have issues. So let's just say that, the Sharks rebuild is not as far along as some would like you to think. That is not a playoff team.
No.
What I watched tonight is not a playoff team. And if they somehow make it in, the Colorado Avalanche are just going to steamroll them because they have one line that could keep up with the Avalanche. After that, I'm sorry. It's just they got a bright future, as do the Blackhawks. But the Blackhawks and the Sharks, it's not this way. They're a lot closer than a lot of people want to give them credit. It's just because Macklin Celebrini is having an MVP type season. And he is awesome. And Connor Bedard was having an MVP type season before he got hurt. So, the Sharks are out there giving up assets to get Kiefer Sherwood. They're rumored that they're willing to give Artemi Panarin the contract extension he wants to bring him over. Trade for some defensemen.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to beat everybody 13-11. It's just not going to happen.
Well, if you get Panarin, you might.
Yeah.
But hey, we have time to talk about Panarin later, but my thing with him is is he bought in? I don't know. Is he chomping at the bit to go to San Jose when he basically just wanted to play?
I'm just confused by the whole thing of why he wants a contract extension. Why you're going to be the free agent?
Yeah. The
free agent class is terrible.
Right.
You're going to have every contender falling all over themselves to bid for you. Why are you trying to get an extension? Go to free agency. Go win a cup and then go to free agency.
Sounds good to me.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would absolutely. We got over 100. See, I'm rusty on Noodle Man. Thanks for getting us over 100 likes. For every 100 likes, we activate Noodle Man. We should talk about some of the individual performances in this game. Ryan Donato, 2 goals, 2 assists. He was a +5. Jason Dickinson, 2 assists. Ilya Mikheyev, a goal and 3 assists. He was a +4. Connor Murphy had a 2-point night, was a +1. Sam Rinzel scored a goal. Obviously, Connor Bedard gets on the board, breaking the power play drought. The over 26 drought is now over. Now they begin a new drought.
And now they started an 0-for-3 drought.
0-for-3 drought.
Because those 3 power plays after looked a lot like those previous 26.
But it's basically what Blashill said after the last game, where once they're in, it's okay.
Right.
Once the power play is in the zone, I still think they are a little hesitant to shoot, but I think they feel they've got a couple guys with really, really elite shots, and they're kind of going for that one really great look. I kind of disagree with that. At least 5-on-4. 5-on-4, driving in front, pucks on net, scoring a rebound, do it all day. Now, I know the Bedard goal was beautiful, but he made that happen by being right in the crease and then snuck away, backed away, and was left wide open. The Sharks lost track of him. But he started where you wanted him, right? So the success they have on the power play is either an incredible shot by Bedard or Bertuzzi's causing nonsense in front. And I do think it's a little bit picky on the shot selection, but once they're in, and also what Blashill said, it's not just getting in, but it's also getting in and setting up. But once the power play is set up, it's actually pretty good. So if they can get these zone entries squared away, you could start to see them normalize. I'm not even saying become elite, but if they have an average power play, they're going to be picking up wins that they wouldn't have over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. If they have a decent power play, they win a couple of those games. They win the Minnesota game. They probably win the Columbus game, or at least get it to overtime.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've still got some problem, but it's good to net one. It's good to get that one, end that streak so we can stop talking about it. And, sometimes that's all it takes is to get that first one to get things going again. As I said, the other 3 power plays they had weren't that great. They had the same problems getting the puck in the zone. They were, the last game, we sat here on the post-game show after Jeff Blashill's comments talking about, it sounds like he's going to get rid of the slingshot. No, that wasn't the case, but that is not something you can just change in one practice after you've been doing it one way. I'm sure those practices during the Olympic break, they'll be working on that a lot. If they're going to change it, that's when they're going to implement it, because they're essentially going to get a second training camp, because they're going to get about 6 days of practice in a row. So that's when they'll implement that. You can't really just take one practice in early February and say, we're changing everything we did.
I need to go back and watch more closely, but I feel like just from observing the game tonight that it felt like when they were doing the slingshot, they had 2 guys coming up more often than just one, because usually it was Lefshanoff forever. Today it was Rinzel. Take it up to the neutral zone or right to the blue line, drop it off to the forward, and it'd be a single forward carrying in. I feel like more than twice, I saw 2 forwards trailing the defenseman to dump the puck back.
Right.
So you have 2 guys moving forward at the same pace. They can either go back and forth to each other or one can carry it. But as we've been talking about throughout this drought of power play non-scoring, the issue is they're not moving. It's not the system, because almost everybody uses the slingshot system, but it's just no one's in motion. And as Blashill said, I think today in the morning skate, it's more about the timing of the it's not the system itself. It's getting everyone on the same page, getting the timing right, and getting the routes right. So that will come with time. But I think by having 2 guys leave the defensive zone into the offensive zone, you're at least giving another guy for the penalty killers to worry about. So I'm going to go back and watch. Maybe that's what made it a little bit better tonight. Maybe they were using that a little more frequently, but it did look better. And they did get set up a number of times on the power play today. So like we said, once they start doing that, they're going to be okay. We were talking about the Donato thing, by the way, and that one goal he scored was absolutely ridiculous.
That was awesome.
Part of me was like, damn, I wish he hadn't scored like that, because it's been driving us crazy.
It's only going to encourage
him. Doing it all year.
I turned to you and I said, I feel like I'm the manager, Lou Brown from Major League. Nice play. Don't ever effing do it again.
Yeah. It had that feeling, but he was awesome. That line was really, really good.
Yeah.
And I love the Hawks' final goal, which I know it was late, but the way the third was going, Hawks outshot 15-4. The Sharks hit 2 posts in the third period. It felt like another Sharks goal was coming, and the difference between 6-3 and 5-4 at that point is massive. So that is a huge goal. So Murphy intercepts the pass from Celebrini, who tries to cross ice it. Murphy reads it beautifully, gets up to Mikheyev, and Mikheyev does this a lot, and I love it. Just bears down, lowers the shoulder, and drives the net. We've seen Landon Slaggert doing that a lot lately, by the way. He shoots, gets his own rebound, and then Donato is there for the other rebound and scores his second of the night. I really like the way they played tonight. There was just an aggressiveness and a confidence about them that we don't see all the time. So will this blossom into something? I don't know. It kind of sucks that they get a win like this that feels so good, and you got a break coming after Wednesday. Yeah, you want to capitalize, but at least you don't head to the break feeling completely terrible.
They still need this break. Regardless, even if they win in Columbus, they need this break. There are too many guys, these young guys, that have hit a wall because they're just not used to playing this many games. And with this weird compressed schedule, it's even worse. So I'm not worried about guys getting good play interrupted by a break. They need it badly.
A note in the pregame, by the way, from Frank Saravalli that Sam Rinzel will be the only Hawk headed to Rockford over the break. And a CBA rule says if you played 16 of the last 20, you're not eligible to go back to Rockford. So Oliver Moore would not be eligible to go back.
Okay.
So, anyone else they want to,
they're trying to prevent people from stacking their AHL
which
game,
is
which
good. I'm glad they're doing that.
The Ice Hogs could use it because they are not looking like they're going to make the playoffs at this point.
Well, you haven't had Lourdes for a big chunk of the year.
Right. He scored yesterday, and he is still the Ice Hogs leading goal scorer, and he wasn't there for 7 weeks. Goes to show you how offensively challenged
sounds like Connor Bedard.
Yeah, well, he's not the goal scoring leader. He hasn't been.
Yeah, you're right. Not yet. Give
it a couple more games.
What does the Bertuzzi have? 24?
25.
Okay, so Bedard's 2 behind him.
So when he gets
confident he'll catch him.
When he gets that hat trick on Wednesday, he'll take the lead into the Olympic break.
All right, we've got to give you our Game Puck nominees presented by our friends at Game Day Men's Health. Lots of options today, which is a nice thing to have.
It's about damn time.
Yes, we've been overdue for lots of options. Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayCHGO.com to find locations closest to you. I think they're pretty obvious tonight. Ryan Donato, 2 goals, 2 assists, +5. He was great. Ilya Mikheyev has to get 1 goal, 3 assists, +4. The third option is interesting. Dickinson had 2 assists, as we mentioned. Connor Murphy had 2 points.
That's the one.
I think it's Murphy
assist
too.
for Connor Murphy in what was probably his last game at the United Center.
Maybe.
Got to give it to him.
Yeah, let's give it to Connor Murphy. That's the third nominee. So Murphy, Donato, Mikheyev, those are your nominees for the Game Day Men's Health Game Puck. Get your votes in. We'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. We are 20 likes away from activating Noodleman again. So while we're gone, do us a favor, hit that like button. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't forget Mario's going to join us from the UC in a little bit here as well. Back in a few on CHGO Blackhawks. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And now new customers get $200 in bonus bets when they bet 5, win or lose. Big football game this weekend, I'm told. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download the app, use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. And breaking news from Bet365, playoff season is here, and new customers get $200 in bonus bets when they bet 5, win or lose. So sign up, use our code CHGO365, deposit $10, place a bet for 5 to get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. You could use those bonuses on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or somebody you know has a problem with gambling, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, and this offer is in-app only. And whether it's on the field or in your financial life, the best teams win by delivering excellence at every level. At Old National Bank, they believe every play matters, from everyday checking to long-term planning and commercial banking. Their team is here to build momentum and help you move forward all the time. It all starts with a plan tailored for you by professionals you trust. From simple tasks to bigger financial moments, you can count on Old National to coordinate your needs with steady, knowledgeable guidance that brings clarity and confidence to each step. It's a partnership designed to help you feel supported, not just today, but well into the future. And I can speak from experience as an Old National customer. That is exactly what they do. You feel supported from the day you walk in. So whether you're celebrating a win, rebuilding after a tough loss, or gearing up for whatever comes next, they've got your back with tools, insights, and an expert crew that's always in your corner. Check out Old National Bank, member FDIC, where relationships and results matter. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks, and Making Memories says, what do you mean Murphy's last game at the UC? Greg, would you like to explain, since it's your fact?
Yes.
Your fun fact?
Well, I don't know how fun it is,
or
but
not so fun.
It might not be a fact, but it probably will be a fact. The Blackhawks do not play another home game until the evening of March 6th, and the NHL trade deadline is 3 p.m. on that day. So there's no home games between now and the trade deadline, and Connor Murphy is rumored to be their biggest trade chip. So that's why this was probably his last, not his last game with the Blackhawks, but it's just his last game with the Blackhawks at the United Center.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably talk about him a little bit too, because it's a guy who I think people have been willing to move for a while. And
now that it's getting kind of close, people are like, I don't know.
Well, I think perfectly reasonable to trade him, right? Like, it makes all the sense in the world. He is a valuable asset. He is highly respected around the league. He is the kind of guy that no matter who trades for him, improves their team. Now, is he going to play 20 minutes a night for whichever team trades for him? No. But Connor Murphy in a third pairing role, that is a big, big difference maker for a team going to the playoffs. For a guy who's going to block shots, he's going to defend, he's going to penalty kill, he's going to do all those things, as well as being an awesome guy in the room. He's going to go in there and not rock the boat at all. Right. He's going to fit in. He can fit in any locker room perfectly. I just hope that Hawks fans realize, like, this guy has played a ton of hockey for the Hawks, his 9th season with the team, and what he lacks in spectacular moments, he's made up for in consistently giving everything he has to this organization. And for a city that, like, preaches about how much they love and value that, no one embodies it more than Connor Murphy. And I feel like there has not been enough respect on hhis name in this town. I think there should be a lot more number 5 jerseys in the United Center crowd, in my opinion.
Yeah, because, I don't think there is, just because he's unfortunately played on so many terrible teams. Not his fault. But when you talk about the guy who he was traded for, Nicholas Jarmelson, he plays in that same vein. Maybe not to the level of a Nicholas Jarmelson, but he's that same guy, willing to sacrifice his body, willing to stick up for his teammates, the heart and soul kind of guy, and a great leader. And it kind of stinks that he was here for so long and endured so many bad teams, and now his run is likely to end right as things are starting to look up and turn around. Stranger things have happened. Maybe he comes back next year on a short deal, but whatever team is going to get him beyond the trade deadline is getting themselves a world-class human being and a great leader, and a guy that's just going to come in and do whatever is asked of him and do it to the best of his ability every single night.
You know what? We should hear what he had to say after the game.
We should.
All right, let's do that.
Good call.
Here he is.
Making jokes that goal scorers score 5 hole that time, so that's sometimes what I'm trying to implement.
How much is just a relief for all three guys right now?
Relief. Yeah, we've had some tough losses in games where we felt like we went overtime, the shootouts where we felt like we had good performances, and whether we gave up a lead or whether we couldn't close it out, it's hard. Played a lot of great teams before this in our schedule, and tonight it was nice at home. Our last home game before the break to really put an effort and honestly just get the goals. I think that gives guys a little bit more energy and confidence. And obviously we talk a lot about defending first, and I think some of those goals led to that. But also when you're able to offensive guys to see them go in, I think it gives more confidence for the rest of the game.
4 goals in 4 weeks, is that just hockey being hockey?
For me, no, nothing different. I think it's kind of ebbs and flows like that as a defenseman. You just happen to get shots that go through, or you happen to get looks that give you a chance more than others. So that's it's just I don't want to just say lucky, but there's a little bit of luck. Yeah.
So it seems like you've played pretty well during this tough stretch. How have you felt about your overall game?
I felt pretty good. Yeah, I think I felt healthy lately, and feel like I got in a groove playing with Grizz as a partner for a while, and I think some of it comes from just being confident defending with your partner and system, and then after that trying to be a little more poised at the puck and make passes and breakouts and simple things that aren't crazy, but with my game when I'm able to make breakouts and not cause turnovers that lead to more D-zone time, then it's usually able to have a little more flow and better defensive shifts.
How big was it when they got close, McKayev scored, and then he set up the Donato goal to kind of kill him?
Yeah, and that's where an example of defense leads offense. I think games that we've won before this year have come from that, and whether it's getting in a whole load zone shift that gives us a power play, or whether it's them that they're able to track and back check and get opportunities to go the other way, and that leads to a few of their goals. Actually, the one Donato had a really nice move and off the rush that we defended first, and then at the end we had a long D zone shift, and then Mickey seems to have just that extra gear. He doesn't get tired to blow by defensemen, and that leads to other goals.
PK's at like 93% now since January 1st. It's just like how confident you guys are when you're out there.
It's nice. He had a couple good chances tonight, but I think like our pressure's been good lately, and we've been able to anticipate and jump and keep them from getting sustained zone time. So I think that's big, and I've said before, just confidence in having partners and pairs, and our 4 groups and D pairs have been healthy lately to build some camaraderie and consistency with how we go out there and defend.
It helped that Connor stuck the power play Drought.
Yeah, Connor did. Yeah, it wasn't just Connor. It was other people too that made plays on that. But yeah, it was big. Honestly, it was kind of funny. Me and Vlas were laughing. They scored 3 goals in a row on us this morning in the power play and morning skate, and we were like kind of not happy, but also chuckling. Like hopefully that gives a little juice, and it did. So after we scored, Vlas looked at me and he goes, "We gave some confidence this morning." But they were moving the puck well. We worked on the power play a lot yesterday and this morning, and those guys have been working hard to get them going. It's really nice to see that.
What have you seen from Sam Rinzel ever since came up from Rockford?
Yeah, he's been steady with his game, and he always shows that poise of the puck. And tonight you saw him kind of a one-man breakout, sometimes able to lead the rush and go into the offensive zone. And he's got that ability, and for him to sneak in and get a goal tonight, I think is really big and feeds his offensive game, which we really need. And it's fun to have him back and see his confidence and pro game continue to grow.
All right, that's Connor Murphy. Courtesy of Mario's phone.
You want to know the secret to Connor Murphy's good play recently?
What?
Growing out the hair.
I wish I could.
You got that game puck stuff to do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
there you go.
absolutely.
Whatever. Better health.
Yes.
See?
Game Day Men's Health is what
That's
you're
what it
referring
is.
to.
Game puck health stuff.
Some conversation in the chat about what trade value Connor Murphy has. And actually, Chris Johnson at The Athletic teamed up with Scott Powers and Mark Lazarus to kind of write about this today. And his take on Murphy's value, I'll make sure I'm reading the right one. Yes, I am. As a right shot defenseman on an expiring contract, he's the most valuable piece the Blackhawks are likely to put on the market at this deadline. Multiple contending teams have been keeping tabs on Murphy throughout the season with the understanding that he could be available. It remains to be seen how high prices will go league-wide, but Murphy should bring back a premium future asset.
Sounds good. And that's
so. How do you define premium? To me, that's a first-round pick or
Celebrini.
That would qualify.
I mean, that's premium.
I mean, the Hawks do need a number 2 center.
They do.
That's true. It's hard to determine. Like, as we get closer to the deadline, I could see somebody freaking out and offering a first for Murphy. It would shock me at this point, but the unknown here is with the new landscape of free agency.
Or lack thereof.
Right, or lack thereof. And like guys are just not going to be reaching. There's probably a team that says maybe they're identifying Connor Murphy as a piece for the next 3 years or so. And maybe they want to get ahead of it and trade for him and sign him. I don't know. It's really hard to predict because with the cap skyrocketing, we don't know how the trade deadline is going to be. Free agency was pretty much a bust last year.
It's going to be nothing this year.
It's going to continue to be a bust because the big names will either be gone before it even hits, like Mitch Marner, or they're just going to re-sign with their teams because there's so much cap space for the next few years. I do think, though, that when you look at trade pieces, you've got your Panarins, but who else is on that level that's available right now?
Nobody.
I mean, there's probably other Rangers available.
Yeah, but
and who knows what the Canucks are thinking?
I mean, the only other guy that I think would fetch a bigger return than Panarin, especially if Panarin's going to come with a 4-year deal. The only other player that would probably get a bigger return is if the Canucks trade Elias Pettersson at the deadline, which I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to wait. That's a draft deal. Wait till the summer when you're going to have more discussions for Pettersson. But the trade market is going to be rather thin, I think, because, with the parity and the loser point, there's so many teams that think they're contenders. They're mathematically alive. So there's going to be less teams willing to trade players. So I think that could work in the Blackhawks' advantage. I don't foresee a first. I would think there'd have to be a couple of teams super desperate, maybe a couple of injuries at the Olympics or after the Olympics, all of a sudden makes teams more desperate. If I'm Kyle Davidson, I wait to the very last minute.
I would too,
and let people bid, let people think that he's their last chance to upgrade their defense and get desperate.
Yeah.
So maybe you package Murphy and Jason Dickinson together and be like, hey, you want to improve your defense? Take both of these guys.
You could eat both contracts.
You can't because you're retaining on Seth Jones still. You can only retain on
right.
one.
Only one retention spot.
But still, you can retain on a little bit. You can retain on the Murphy because he makes much more, or however it works, and package those guys together. Maybe like you did with Lafferty and Jake McCabe a couple of years ago. And you got a first round for those two guys.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me Connor Murphy and Jason Dickinson isn't better than Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty.
Yes, I would think you'd probably give an edge to McCabe over Murphy, but Jason Dickinson's way better than Sam Lafferty.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, the most recent trade big board that the Athletic published has Murphy as the third best available defenseman. Dougie Hamilton, number one, but he's going to be extremely cost prohibitive for a team. And he's
been hurting bad.
And he's also being a little bit difficult about accepting a trade, which is his right.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have to accept a trade. He negotiated that deal fairly, so good on him. Luke Shen, right shot defenseman, like Hamilton, and then they have Connor Murphy as the 14th overall trade piece, but the third overall defenseman. So we'll see. I think a first is still wishing big, but I don't think it's... A month ago, I would have said no chance. I don't think it's no chance anymore. All right, we got to hit the break zone again. Do us a favor. While we hit that, you hit the like button. Back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. As a man, are you starting to feel like you have low energy throughout the day? You do not have the same motivation and drive, seeing the scale move up and the hair fall out, muscles tightening up, you hurt yourself putting on your socks like me? Well, that might be the result of low testosterone. It's very common as you age and something to be mindful of. So whether it's peak performance or becoming a better father, better husband, or better man, Game Day Men's Health wants to support every man's health journey through personalized care tailored to your goals. It's a super easy process. You'll be in and out the door in about an hour. You'll get personal care from their family and locally owned clinics with a great success rate. At Game Day, you're going to feel better and have more energy with testosterone, vitamin supplements, weight loss, and hair loss treatments. You can be anywhere from 27 and up to go in. It doesn't matter. And take a look here at Josh, who lost over 100 pounds in just over a year using their testosterone replacement therapy. Start your best life with Game Day Men's Health. Check out their locations in Skokie, Naperville, Liberty, and more, or scan that QR code to find the one closest to you. Go to GameDayCHGO.com to find locations closest to you. And we are busier than ever this time of year. Kids are back to school. You're back to work. Full-time, no more holiday breaks. It is very, very difficult to find time to cook. That is where Factor comes in. If you're looking for lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, healthy fats, all those things, you're going to get it with Factor. Super easy, 2 minutes in the microwave. You're going to get an outstanding meal ready in 2 minutes. And the best part, no prep, no cleanup, no mental load. It's not motivation to eat better, elimination of the reason you don't eat better. It helps you. Head to factormeals.com/CHGO Bears 50 off and use code CHGO Bears 50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for a year. Offers only valid for new customers with qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. Mario is standing by, but you said you have a clarification?
Yeah, no, I misspoke. The Blackhawks can retain on 2 players. You're allowed 3 retention slots.
You ass!
I know. I was wrong. Won't be the last time.
All right, let's go out to the United Center and bring in Mario Tirabassi, who is taking in the post-game festivities. We have already heard from Connor Murphy. I saw you heard from Dickinson and Donato as well. Why don't you fill us in on what those guys had to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big theme of the night is the scoring outburst that the Hawks had tonight, and not something that we've seen from them in recent games, and being able to get out to a lead, and even though it was a little shaky kind of feeling in that third period, they never really got to a point where you felt like truly things were kind of in danger, or they're going to blow this lead or anything like that. Like, they were able to kind of keep things contained as much as possible in that third period as the Sharks pushed. And that's a very talented team in San Jose, and they have the ability to turn games around pretty quickly. But just a confidence boost for not only the goal scoring, but the ability to kind of weather the storm and kind of hold things down in that third period, and not let things kind of get a little too wacky in a game that it obviously could have.
Well, I just think that this is obviously speaking, but that 6th goal was so huge because I was sort of feeling, because they hit the post twice and you had a bunch of good looks on that late Sharks power play, that I feel like if the Sharks had scored, that they were very, very likely tying it, because I think maybe some doubt would have started to sink in after having such a dominant start to the game, and then things slip away. I'd worry about what would happen there, which is why that play by a veteran, reliable trio of it is Murphy intercepting the Celebrini pass, getting it to Mikheyev, who drives the net, and Donato, who scores on a rebound. Massive. That was just a huge, huge play with just about 3 minutes to go. So it's good to see, like you said, to respond and to not let it get away from them, because felt like it was not close, but I didn't think it was out of the question that a comeback was happening.
Yeah, I mean, the Sharks are a really good team, a really resilient team. And, they were a few nights ago down, what was it, 3-0 to the Oilers or something like that, and they came back, and we've seen them be able to do that a lot this season, and that's why they're a talented team. They're in a playoff spot. But yeah, I mean, the Hawks tonight, they had a lot of examples of what Jeff Blashill preaches, of using defense to create offense, and that happened a lot tonight. And the Sharks are a team that'll play with speed and push, and the Blackhawks did a good job tonight of being able to kind of counterpunch in those spots and attack off of stopping rush chances from the Sharks. So, and then that 6th goal, as you're mentioning, is like a perfect example of that. Like, it's the defensive play that turns back the other way. Mikheyev's speed and getting to the net, and then Donato finishes it. So that was a big game from those three on that play. Jason Dickinson also had a really good game matched up against the Celebrini line. I think it's just kind of all around. You had games from individuals that collectively, I think, gave this team a lot of confidence. And that's something that they needed. They've been on a losing streak, and losing a lot of leads in games recently, which has been tough. Talking to some guys in the room this morning, like, they really just want to get tonight and the game on Wednesday, like, get 4 points if possible, and just get some good momentum going into the break, so you feel better when you're on the break, and you feel better when you're away from the team, so that when you get back, everyone kind of feels like they're, they went off onto the break in a good mood, and they come back rested and ready to get right back at it.
We also kind of noticed, as much as the players like to downplay, this matchup meant something. Like, you could tell that the Hawks especially were maybe a little bit tired of the Sharks press and the Celebrini talk, and they came out of this game more ready to go than I've seen in some time.
Yeah, I mean, it's no doubt that these two teams are compared a lot. Bedard and Celebrini are compared constantly, not only on the internet, but also in the hockey world. I'm sure players and coaches and GMs all have the discussions about those two side by side, especially with the Olympic decisions this season leading up to this month, basically. Talking about those guys parallel and the teams parallel and their rebuilds and all that stuff. So, as much as it is, 2 teams out of 32 in the league, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of comparisons maybe between these two teams. And I know the players aren't going to admit it publicly, but yeah, I'm sure that there's a little bit of extra motivation for these guys in this kind of matchup. So good for them to have the game that they did. and yeah, like I said, like being able to get out to a lead as big as it was, hold on to it, close the game, scoring the final goal of the game is a good feeling. So yeah, I mean, it's first of 3 matchups. Can't forget the last matchup of the season at home. It's going to be our last takeover. Also, tickets still available. You can see the second Bedard versus Celebrini Bowl at the United Center with us for the CHGO takeover. I want to plug that as well.
That'll be fun. AllCHGO.com. Become a diehard. Save on that. Smart decision. All right, Jeff Flashel. Haven't heard anything he had to say. What stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, the theme of confidence and being able to score is something that this team needed, and Blashel recognized that after tonight's game, and the locker room was noticeably loud after the game. You could hear it through the door. So this is what he had to say after the game about the confidence of the team and the good vibes after the win.
For sure, it's nice to be able to score. Honestly, and the other thing it does is, when guys score, they feel better about themselves. It gives guys confidence, and confidence matters a ton in every league, but certainly in this league. So, hopefully we can carry that forward a little bit.
Sure sounded like it in the room after the game. That felt like a big cathartic win for them.
Yeah, it probably was. We haven't won enough lately, and then just to be able to score and listen, as a coach, you'd love to win 3-1 and, all that stuff. But to score 6 matters. And again, I think guys feel better about themselves when that happens. And I know how important confidence is. So it was a good thing for us.
I like 6-3. 6-3 is more fun than 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, a win's a win. But yeah, when you get to hear Chelsea Dagger 6 times, that's a pretty good night. It's funny. We were talking with our buddy Windy City Hockey and his dad, as they normally do, come around before games when they're in town, and talking about the power play and getting things going and everything. And I said jokingly, I was just like, yeah, well, they'll probably score 8 tonight. It'll be 8-7 game. They'll get a few power play goals, and it's what I had hoped to see from the team. Is what they clearly needed, and I think probably working 2 factors is not only scoring the first goal of the game, which the Hawks have done a lot this season, but the first goal of the game is Connor Bedard in this matchup. Bedard versus Celebrini and all that, and it's on the power play, like triple whammy, right? In this game, so that had to give a lot of confidence to the group just to start out the game, to get that power play drought over. Bedard keeps scoring, and then a few times when they got out to the 4-0 lead, and then they got up 5-1, they were scoring goals quickly. And the first Sharks goal, really nice goal between Celebrini and Will Smith, and they go back and score right away to make it 5-1. Like, they didn't let that momentum settle in for the Sharks off that goal. So that's really like what you want to see from this group, is not let one goal the other way turn into 2 and 3 and so on and so forth, which we've seen from this team in seasons past. So I think starting the game with a power play goal was great, and being able to kind of capitalize on that momentum themselves was a big confidence boost.
I always like when coaches respond to a goal against by putting out a defensive line, and that's what they did, and they scored 40 but 30 some seconds later, but Dickinson and Donato and Mikheyev go out there after that goal, and just, even if you're not going to score, you're probably going to win that shift. You're going to, if you don't win the faceoff, you're going to at least get the puck back and end it with an offensive zone faceoff. This is something that he talks about a lot, is winning the shift. It doesn't necessarily have to be a goal or a highlight reel play, but just have it stop the bleeding, stop the momentum, and no better way to do that than with a goal. But I just like that a lot of coaches do this, but I like that Blashel had the presence of mind to be like, all right, that felt like a momentum shifter when Will Smith scored. Let's get out here and just squash this next shift. Make sure we squash this, take a deep breath, and 30 some later they're scoring. So I just think that's a nice little subtle move that he probably won't get a lot of credit for. And this is our first look at Celebrini in person. Did not play against the Hawks at the UC last year. And I know that Blashill talked about the Sharks, but I got to say, as much as we like to talk about the rivalry and Bedard versus Celebrini, whatever, he was incredibly impressive. Like, every time the guy touches the puck, it feels like something bad is going to happen, or good if you're a Sharks fan. I think he was every bit of what was advertised. He's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's evident if you weren't just looking at the counting stats, but it's evident that everything that the Sharks are doing kind of rolls through Macklin Celebrini, and not specifically just, he's creating everything. I mean, he has like a 40-point gap between the team lead in points and the next guy, but also like you can just tell that the rest of the team feeds off of him and his performance. And they have, it's not just him. Obviously, Will Smith is a really good player. William Eklund is a really good player. They have Michael Misa, Sam Dickinson's there on the defensive side. Like, they have a lot of really good pieces, really good young pieces to build off of. And you've had, some career resurgence, so to say, from Tyler Toffoli being tied to, Celebrini and Smith on that top line. So it really just flows well for that team. And you can see that the speed that they play with, I mean, that's something the Blackhawks are working with as well, as being a fast team and trying to use that speed and counterattack against other fast teams and take advantage of it. So this is obviously it's a good Sharks team, and they're currently in a playoff spot. They're fighting for a playoff spot. They're in that wild card race, and they're going for it. I think it definitely is going to be these two teams in the West down the road that are definitely going to have some intense matchups, and throw Anaheim in there as well, as these teams, Utah, that are all kind of like in that 1 year window away from each other of rebuilds ending, and those next steps being taken as organizations. The Blackhawks are right there with them, probably a step behind those teams, obviously, as you can see from the on ice results and everything, but they're not far behind, not at all.
All right, we got to hit the break zone. I know Jeff Flash wanted to comment on the Sharks too, so we'll get that on the other side of the break. Hit the like button. Back in 2 minutes. New Chevy models are in store at Ray Chevrolet, and it's your chance to shop hot deals all month long during their auto show sales event. Stop in today and drive home with 0% financing for 72 months on all new Chevy models, or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you're going to get a great deal. Plus, Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently, because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location right on Route 12 in Fox Lake. Don't miss out on their auto show sales event going on all month long for 0% financing and 72 months on all new Chevrolet models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. And can you believe we're already 1 month into 2026? That doesn't mean it's time to move away from your goals, and Huel right here is your perfect solution for high protein meal support, busy days, habit building, convenience, and control this year. Sometimes you forget to have breakfast, you're too busy, or you had your workout and you haven't gotten a meal in. Grab a Huel. It's 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, no artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors. It's gluten-free and under $5 a meal. A complete meal you can just grab and go. And you could use their Black Edition powder if you want to make smoothies, something thicker, something a little more filling. Same high protein, same complete meal benefits, more flexible flavors. You can add fruit, nut butter, etc. For a limited time, get Huel today with our code Blackhawks15 for 15% off online. That's new customers only. Thanks to Huel for partnering and supporting our show, and show them support by going online and trying our code Blackhawks15. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. Mario, before we spring you, let's get this. Let's hear what Jeff Flash had to say about the Sharks.
For the
Yeah, I thought, they do some real good things offensively that tax you. I think you got to take advantage of that when you can and kind of in transition, which I thought we did. But they're going to tax you defensively, meaning they're going to make you play really good D. I thought when we did that, we were good. I thought we lost a little bit in the third. They pushed. Games when you go up 5-1 are goofy. Like we saw last night. Like they can get goofy. Good for a penalty kill to step up big in the third. To kind of keep it a 2-goal than 3-goal lead.
Code. Decoding Jeff Flashel. Their defense sucks. That's what I heard. I mean, they're real fast. They create off the rush, but you can get them in transition. Yes, you can.
Once you get them in their own zone, piece of cake.
Yes, that was very diplomatic. He's got a future in politics when his hockey career is over. That's for damn sure. All right, any other fun observations from Club Dub?
No, I mean it was a good mood in the room. I just obviously it wasn't a topic of discussion after the game because it's not the time or place to ask those questions. I've been told, but gotta wonder if this might have been the last time we see Connor Murphy and Jason Dickinson and maybe Ilya Mikheyev, who all had great games tonight at the United Center, because the next time the Blackhawks play at home will be the evening after the trade deadline. So that's Friday, March 6th. So this was only home game of the month. So if you really wanted to see Connor Murphy in person, this might have been your last chance to do it.
Come on, Murphy.
Yeah.
That guy's going to be
so I was so happy for the pull string Connor Murphy guy. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It's kind of amazing to think this could have been the last time Hawks fans get to see Connor Murphy and Jason Dickinson in person. We'll find out. Thanks, man.
All right. See you guys.
All right. That's Mario Tirabassi from the UC.
You could tell this was a good win because we didn't spend 1 second complaining about Andrei Burakovsky's turnover leading to another goal.
There's still time.
Yes. He doesn't get a free pass, damn it, just because they won.
No, he doesn't. Well, we have a feature we got to do. It's the big takeaway.
Is it called the feature? Oh, speaking
not the big giveaway,
I was gonna say,
which would be the Andrei Burakovsky segment.
Yeah.
The big takeaway.
The big takeaway that is what the Sharks did with the puck when facing Andrei Burakovsky.
The big takeaway is presented by Xfinity. Imagine that. We do have a cool graphic we're going to share, but listen to the stat from the San Jose Sharks PR. Macklin Celebrini with his goal. That's his 81st point of the season. Only 2 teens in NHL history, teens with an N, have reached 80 points in a campaign faster than Celebrini. Wayne Gretzky,
heard of him,
45 games in 80-81, and Sidney Crosby, 47 games in 06-07. So he is off to a very good start. He's a very, very good young player.
When are the think pieces going to get written about Gavin McKenna needs help?
Soon,
because they're kind of a one-man team.
Celebrini, you mean?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry,
they are. If he's not scoring, they're not scoring.
Yeah, it's a lot like we've seen from the Blackhawks.
Yeah, Ryan Donato had 4 points. He had 2. Ergo, Donato is twice as good as Macklin Celebrini.
Clip it. I mean, sure. Tonight.
Do we have this graphic? This is from Mike Kelly of NHL Network. This is before the game, so these numbers have changed a bit. This is per game forward ranks, Celebrini versus Bedard. Offensive zone possession, Celebrini is 20th in the NHL with 53 seconds per game. Bedard 15th with 56 seconds in the game. So that's a win for Bedard. Zone entries, 7.3 per game for Celebrini. That's 7th. 7.7 for Bedard. That's 5th. Slot shots, 2.08 for Celebrini. That's 14th. 2.14 for Bedard. That's 12th. Slot passes, 3.5 per game for Celebrini. That's 4th. 2.4 per game for Bedard. That's 13th. And points per game, 1.49. That's 4th for Celebrini. 1.24. That's 11th for Bedard. But when I look at that slot passes thing, it tells me that Connor Bedard has no one to pass to. Right? Celebrini's like, I have an option. There's Will Smith. There's Tyler Toffoli. I can throw the puck his way. If Bedard's not throwing it to Tyler Bertuzzi in a slot, he's throwing it to no one.
Yeah. But those numbers make you feel pretty good. As spectacular as Macklin Celebrini is, and a great season he's having, Connor Bedard is right there with him and better than him in certain categories. And had Bedard not missed those 12 games, I don't think he'd be at 81 points, but he'd be in the 70s by now.
I would think so.
He'd be right there. He was neck and neck with him for that whole time up until the injury. So, it's fun. It's fun to have these two guys in the league at the same time. We know. I heard a rumor today. I have to vet it through some sources, but I hear they're both from northern Vancouver.
No one's mentioned that.
Yeah, it's just next
Weird.
thing. I mean, it's next thing someone's going to tell me Patrick Kane's from Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
I never heard that confirmed.
And they have McKenna and Connor Bedard are 8th cousins.
Right. So it's fun. As both of those guys have said, it's good for the league. It gets people interested. The fans and the media and the podcasters, everybody's going to argue who's better. It doesn't matter who's better. They're both terrific.
They're great.
And we're lucky that we have one of them on the team we cover and cheer for. And the league is in really good hands for the next few years, not only with those two, but with just the crop of young talent in this league right now. You got your Leo Carlsons and so many young, talented players that are just Matthew Schaefer he's
unreal.
Special player. All these guys coming into the league at the same time, man, the NHL is going to be so good for years and years.
Giggity's points out, and actually Chloe found this the other day. We were going to do a mini pod about it, but we weren't able to. Giggity says Will Smith did miss 15 games too. Celebrini was still putting up points without him. Yeah, I think he had. Did you look at it? It was like 25 points in those games. It was somewhere around there, right?
I want to say 23. I can't remember what the exact number was. But yeah,
it's not. We don't want to. We can't just credit Celebrini's success to his line mates. It's not. He is certainly the driver of everything that happens in San Jose. And you wonder. I think Will Smith is a really good player too. But if he wasn't with Celebrini, would he be quite what he is? Probably not. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
He'd be Phil Kurashev. You know you want to.
Yeah, but it's just maybe not that. But it's just. I think I don't want to.
Great players elevate the players around.
Yes,
them.
and I don't want to strip away what Celebrini does by saying, well, he's got better line mates. That's true. So I don't think the gap between Celebrini and Bedard is as vast as some people are making it, but he's an insane hockey player. That was the big takeaway presented by Xfinity.
It is a big takeaway. Macklin Celebrini, good at hockey.
He is good.
Nicely done.
We got to do Game Puck. Do we have a winner, Chloe? She's nodding. Okay, I'm seeking more information.
hold on. Wait.
Thank you for the nod. Yes, we do. Terrific.
Hold
Let's let everybody guess. I have it here. The winner is Ryan Donato.
I'm playing the drum roll right now.
I can't hear that. There it is.
All right.
57% of the vote for Ryan Donato. I think when you have a +5 and a 4-point night, you probably deserve that.
Yeah, and well-deserved. Good for Ryan Donato
Great
having
game.
his best game of the season. A guy that, has taken a little bit of a beating this year. Got a big contract to live up to. Hasn't had the opportunity to get top 6 minutes like he had last year. That helped him put up those 31 goals and 62 points. But a great game. And I love it when the Dickinson-Mikheyev line, regardless who the third player is, I love it when they're put out there for to be the defensive shutdown line and end up dominating offensively. Because that's what this is what Jeff Blashill preaches. That's what good defense does. When you play good defense, you get more time playing offense.
You're defending the top team, and you had the top line. They had a 50% Corsi, 9 shot attempts, 4-9 against. At 5-on-5, your best line tonight in limited 5-on-5 ice time, 5:43, was the Oliver Moore line with a 4-1 shot attempt advantage for them. All right, we are going to head to overtime. We're a little bit ahead of overtime. We're just telling you now. If you're watching on the fast channels, make sure within the next 60 seconds you switch over to allchgo.com or the YouTubes to continue the coverage here. We want to make sure we knock out these super chats, but we got to give them the read. Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit Game Day CHGO to find locations closest to you. Ryan Donato is our Game Day Men's Health Game Puck winner. All right, super chat time. Let's do it. Robert, I said Robin Ventura. No, this guy's not getting pummeled by Noah and Ryan. It's Robert Ventura Says the next time someone brings up the Demidov thing, remind them the Hawks already have a Russian phenom. Visit the KHL website and see highlights of his 29 league-leading goals. P.S. That pick via the Zaitsev trade, Kyle Davidson. He is talking, of course, about Roman Kantsarov.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it the other night about the Demidov Levshinov stuff. It's beyond ridiculous at this point.
The horse is dead.
Stop hitting it. Roman Kantsarov is really good player. I can't wait to see him here next year. Just think of that. Let's fast forward to September.
Yeah.
And walk into the brand new USG arena for the Tom Curvers Classic and look over at the Blackhawks roster for that and see Anton Frondel and Roman Kantsarov and Nick Lardis and Merrick Van Acker and Sasha Boisvert.
Jack Pridham.
And AJ Spellisy. See those guys. And then watch, the Iowa Wild bring some farmhand to just get smoked. That's going to be a great way to christen that new arena, is just watch the Blackhawks prospects just steamroll the Blues and the Wild over 2 nights.
Speaking of steamrolling St. Louis, History Racer 22, $5 says, my Mariners get Brendan Donovan and the Hawks end their power play and losing streak. Time to sleep like a champ. Yes, I just like the St. Louis Cardinals is punting, saying, we'll never beat the Cubs ever again. We're trading everybody. I'm here for it. Here for years of St. Louis suckitude.
I'm sure that's...
So the best fans in baseball can prove that they are the most front-running fans in baseball.
Well, yeah, they weren't there last year.
What were they last year? What happened?
They're definitely not going this year.
Weird. Madhouse Meek, $5 says, Ron, no. Noodleo erectonius.
Are you having a stroke, Madhouse Meek? Are you okay?
I think someone asked if the Noodle Man was broken.
Oh, okay.
Noodle Man is not broken, but he's sleeping until we get 40 more likes.
Out of context, that looks like we might have to send an ambulance to Meek's house.
He's all right, but he's not been awoken. Only been awoken twice today. It's kind of sad considering it's a 6-3 win over the Sharks.
You would have thought there had been more need for Noodle Man after such a great win.
And then we've got Joey Smith, $5 says, for being the first player ever drafted first overall by a bad team, Bedard sure is having fun. Thank you, Joey. Sarcasm. I love it. My favorite font.
I've never used sarcasm. I don't know what that's about.
You? No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, that was fun, man. That was enjoyable. Let's have more of those.
Yeah, wins are fun.
Yes, I enjoy that.
And yes, 6-3, but man, I was feeling nervous in that third period until that 6th goal. When they got that third goal because 3 defenders were mesmerized by future Hall of Famer Philip Kurashev, and it led to an easy Sharks goal, I was like, nah, can we not?
What's that?
And kudos to the Blackhawks for giving Kurashev his
the
welcome back.
Salute of all
and like
time.
it was very cool of the 19 people that actually cheered for it at the United Center. It was a smattering of applause.
No highlight. It was like a graphic they made during the previous TV timeout.
Right.
And like, welcome back, Philip Kurashev. And then they showed him on the ice.
The Canva watermark on the bottom of their graphic.
They showed him on the ice for like 4 seconds.
They didn't even log into the pro account to make it. They just did the free trial for it.
You know what? They acknowledged it.
Hey, no, that all seriousness, I'm glad they did. Kurashev was a soldier. He was a good sport, good kid, and he spoke for like 12 minutes in the Sharks locker room.
That's about 12 minutes more than he ever did here.
Well, I'm going to say, like, in the 4 seasons he was here, I don't think he spoke 12 minutes total. Not a man of many words, but today he had a lot to say, and good for him. Had the assist, and, things didn't work out here, but he's a guy that I will always be cheering to have success just because he's a good human being, and the world needs more of those.
Also, need a shout out on this Pride Night. The Chicago Gay Men's Chorus, first intermission performance.
Awesome. So good.
Every game.
Way better than any one of those cover bands that they bring in.
Yes.
Whatever that one from, they all play the same 6 songs, and they all play them poorly.
And too loud.
Way too loud, because there's nobody in the arena when they're playing. But yes, it was just awesome. They were super talented.
To sound that good in a not made for performance venue was impressive. Especially it sounded like, because there was no band there, they were singing along with a track.
Yeah, they had like a track.
So to do that at the United Center is really impressive. Like, it's one thing to do it in a controlled environment, but to have to sing over a track, they're all standing in different spots. I'm sure they weren't getting I didn't think they had ear monitors in.
I don't know.
They were great.
They were fantastic. It was definitely the best musical act they've had this season in between periods for sure.
Yeah. If you want to go see them, CGMC.org, Chicago Gay Men's Chorus, just outstanding. It was so good. The best intermission. I will say, I never get to see DJ Oreo because he's always in the second intermission. Yeah. And he has always been my GOAT for intermission entertainment when I'm there. He's been at a couple of our takeovers, and DJ Oreo brings the house down. But for ones I've seen this year, that was really, really good. So check them out. All right, we're going to wrap things up. We'll be back tomorrow at 3. We'll probably do our final mailbag of this part of the season. So if you got a question, get it into our Diehards Only Discord. If you want to become a diehard, allchgo.com. I wore my Iceman 18 hoodie yesterday for the first time. I had 5 or 6 people ask about it. So hopefully that's flying off the shelves and getting some diehards signed up. And the nice thing is it's inspired by the Icy, you get at the movie theater, and it's got the polar bear on the sleeve. There's a polar bear number 18 throwing a football, which is very cool. So a great design. Check it out. store.allcitynetwork.com for all of our great stuff. And there's some new Hawks merch in there too. So check it out. All right. Talk to you tomorrow at 3 on CHGO Blackhawks.
We all silly like the mayor.